bass hit your face, you be like. When the bass hit your face, you be like. When the bass hit your face, you be like. When the bass.
Hello and welcome to Unbound Carry, the channel where we help you elevate your everyday. My name is Jeffrey McDuffie, and yes, we have rebranded. I'm super excited about that, but stick around to hear more about that later. So today we're going to be talking about the Inside Line Equipment default bag. So Inside Line Equipment is a brand that I've heard of, but I haven't heard too many people talk about in the carry community. I've heard the name here and there, but nothing really stuck. And so I wanted to see if I can find like not a hidden gem, but I guess something that's a little bit more underrated. And so I went ahead and purchased this bag with my own money, and I'm super excited to get into it. Really, the design impressed me. It seems like a bag made for bag geeks, but I was just really interested in why more people haven't been talking about it. So before we actually go ahead and head into the actual review part of the video, let's go ahead and talk about the pockets first. So starting with the outside. So we've got one hidden pocket right here. It's got this little rain flap or something. I'm guessing that's either to protect from water or like maybe an anti-theft measure. And then it's a pretty slim pocket with not much volume on the inside. It's pretty tight to get into. On the outside, you've also got yourself two water bottle pockets right here. And then if you undo the Cobra Buckle on the front here, this kind of gets you into your main compartment. But before we go there, you've got this zipper right here. This zipper kind of goes really far down to the bottom of the bag. And this is like, I guess, their laptop compartment. It's weather sealed, so it's got a zipper, and then also it's, protected by this flap here. So this part is gonna probably be one of the most water resistant parts of the bag other than the roll top itself. And then you've got these two pockets here, which I might have to get some B-roll for. But there is a little bit of organization in here, but you've got two large slip pockets right here with some organization. Like in here, you can store some pens and stuff. Like you can see I have the stain pen in here and an Apple pencil here. And then this one has more of a larger slip pocket where I store like a pouch and some other miscellaneous things. There's also another large pocket here, which would be great for a tablet or a laptop or something like that. And then lastly, you've got your main roll top opening. This is literally all just like one large cavity. And in here, it's just a big space where you can throw in pouches or clothes or whatever you need. I just have some various like pouches and stuff like that in there. All right, as for the features and specs of this bag, it's going to be 25 liters. This version is going to be the 1000D Cordura version. It's got a TPU-coated 420D nylon welded liner. It's going to have a weatherproof hidden sleeve. The middle sleeve fits up to a 16-inch MacBook. The side pockets fit a standard size 32-ounce water bottle. There's going to be an adjustable removable sternum strap. Where there are zippers, they are water-sealed YKK ones. And then there are removable hip straps that I have removed for this video and for my personal use. Real quick, guys, if you're enjoying this video, then I would appreciate it if you gave it a like, and if you're really loving it, then maybe consider subscribing. I make videos on bags, everyday carry, and tech, so if any of that interests you, then I think you'll like it here. Alrighty, back to the video. Alright, so let's go ahead and start with what I like about this bag. So for me, one of my favorite parts of this bag is this really unique admin compartment. So the organization is going to be really simple, which I personally like. So it kind of fits larger, kind of more awkward sized objects. Like for example, this mouse case for my Logitech MX Master mouse. And then it can also fit like things like this. This is a precision screwdriver kit, excuse me. And then like a little first aid kit. And then like you've got like, I can put my sunglasses in here, and it just feels like the organization is very versatile, which is great. One thing that I don't like about certain bags is they really pigeonhole you into fitting certain things into certain places. And that kind of not necessarily ruins the experience of the bag, but it makes you have to carry it in a very specific way. So I personally really love this front admin compartment. You've also got this really large slip pocket right here, which is great for maybe a laptop or a tablet, a folder in this case, although it's not very structured. So if you do put a folder in here, it could get like bent. Maybe some like hardcover books would be great here. like a notebook of some sort. And then there's also this weatherproof pocket that we talked about in the pocket walkthrough, but this fits my 14-inch MacBook Pro perfectly fine. Adjustments on this bag are super easy, like really, really easy. And I think it's because they use these D-rings on the adjustment points. So let me show you guys here. But like you have this D-ring right here, you have another D-ring right here, and then on the shoulder strap adjustments, you've also got like a large D-ring. And that makes it super easy to tighten the compression straps. It makes it super easy to tighten the shoulder straps as well. So adjustments on this bag are really easy, and honestly, this is a really underrated thing. Like, I don't know why more people don't do this. It makes adjusting the bags super easy, or adjusting the straps super easy. I will say some bags do have like they'll fold over the webbing so you can put your thumb through it. That works as well, but this, in my opinion, is a little bit better. A little bit more thoughtful too. This bag is also really comfortable with the caveat of when you pack it out right. And we're gonna get to this later, but some of the items in the bag can stick out and poke your back. This is a pretty big issue, but we'll talk about it later. But once you have it set up right, like this bag is really comfortable. The straps are really wide, so it distributes that weight really well. And I think that the back is soft, but I kind of wish that they would have a frame sheet. Again, we'll talk about that later. Once you get it set and dialed into like how you like it, then yes, it is a very comfortable bag, but we'll kind of talk about that a little bit more later. The Cobra Buckle, oh my goodness. So this is my first time using like a authentic Cobra Buckle, and my goodness, this is super satisfying. It's a little bit loud, but oh my goodness, it's like chunky and it feels super high quality. Now, I believe there's multiple versions. I think I paid extra for the Cobra Buckle, which is usually the case. They're pretty expensive. But there are other versions, like I think there's a version with just like a fib lock or something. I'm not sure, don't quote me on that. But the Cobra Buckle on this model is very, very nice. And it's just like a really nice, I don't know, like think about the amount of times that you're gonna access your bag throughout the day. This is something that kind of brings me a little bit of joy every single time that I use this. And again, kind of going back into the rebrand thing about elevating your everyday, every time I undo this Cobra Buckle, I'm just like, wow, that's awesome, you know? And those small little interactions really make a difference. So Cobra Buckle, really, really nice. The construction of this bag is very, very nice as well. I have only seen like maybe like one loose thread, but overall, like the stitching is very, very solid. You can see like reinforced stitching around the straps and things like that. Around stress points, there's like reinforced stitching. Like this is really like one loose thread, but other than that, like it feels really good. Also, the material, the 1000T Cordura is really solid. And then you've also got that welded liner that helps with weather resistance, which is awesome. I also love how they included exterior water bottle pockets. If you guys have watched my channel, you know, I really don't like interior water bottle pockets because they take up space on the interior of the bag. It just uses up that interior volume. I understand that they have their place, and this is more of a subjective thing, but I really do like how they have those external water bottle pockets. Like I said, they do fit up to a 32 ounce water bottle, excuse me. Actually, let me go ahead and get one for you. So this is a 32 ounce Nalgene. And then we're just gonna have to undo that compression strap a little bit. I'll take out some stuff that I have in here. And then, there you go. And if it's that fine, if you do have like stuff in the inside of the bag that's kind of like jutting out the sides, it will make it harder to insert your water bottle. But you can also secure it more with the compression strap if you choose to do so. So this is just a standard 32 inch, why do I keep saying that? 32 ounce Nalgene, my bad. So let's actually talk about the main compartment, you know, the kind of important part. Main access, or access to the main compartment is good. They use these buttons to kind of secure the main compartment right here. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, there you go. They use these buttons to secure the main compartment. This is fine, it's totally usable, but I almost wish that instead they had like magnets along the seam right here, which would kind of hopefully seal it together by itself and provide, I guess, a little bit better weather resistance. I'm not sure. I will say it is a hassle once you undo the buttons to kind of get them back in their right place. So a magnet would kind of speed that up a little bit. And lastly, let's go ahead and talk about something subjective, which is the look. I mean, this is a really nice looking bag. I've gotten a few compliments on it. A lot of people have noticed it. It's a really sleek looking bag. It's got kind of like an urban streetwear aesthetic in my opinion. And it looks great. So not only is it functional, but it also looks fantastic in my opinion. And again, these are compliments from people who aren't bag people, by the way, which is, I think, pretty high praises. But let's go ahead and go into what I don't like about this bag. And one of the first things is going to be this bottom zipper right here. So as I mentioned earlier, it is really hard to access. To the point where honestly, I don't really want to use it just because it's that difficult. It's very tight. You kind of have to put the flap up and you have to make sure that it stays up while you're accessing your things. And then there's not much volume on the inside. Honestly, like if they added a bit of volume to this part, I think that would help with the access of the bag, or the access of the pocket, excuse me. But overall, it is a more difficult pocket to access. Maybe this is a good thing. Maybe you can put something a little bit more private here, like if you didn't want something to be stolen, because there are 2 steps. You have to undo the or open up the flap, and then you have to unzip it, which could be great for anti-theft. But honestly, I don't really like the bottom pocket that much there. I also wish that there was a separate laptop compartment. So, I mean, I guess technically there is. I don't think they specifically say what part is the laptop compartment. I don't know if it's this pocket right here or if it's this pocket right here. But honestly, I just get a little bit nervous about putting stuff right here because it feels like some water can kind of get in through like that. I don't know if you can see that, but it feels like water can get in through that right there. And then also, like, I don't know, I feel like it would be easier to access your things if instead of having to undo like this large buckle every time you wanted to access your laptop, if instead it had like a frame sheet and then you could like maybe like the Cobra Ruckle unfold one and then unzip that, kind of take your laptop out. That would also be nice. And then hopefully it would kind of, maybe having a frame sheet there would help stuff from poking into your bag. Also, I would really like to see side access through the main compartment. That would be awesome. So like, of course you have your, main top access through the roll top, but it feels like there's a little bit of a missed opportunity to just add like a zipper right here. That way you can kind of unzip this and maybe grab out a small pouch or something like that. That feels like it would be a really thoughtful and, extra way to access your things. I feel like that would add a lot of versatility to the bag. Okay, so what I talked about earlier, right? Items kind of poking into your bag. I think that this might be a deal breaker for a lot of people looking to buy this bag, and I highly recommend, like right when you get this bag, if you do choose to buy it, fill it out as full as you ever think you're gonna do, or as full as you ever think you're gonna fill it up to, and just see how it feels. Because for me, what I find packing with pouches and things like that, a lot of the times the pouches will bulge out like at the lower back area, and it will actually cause the bag to stick out, and it's really, really annoying and uncomfortable. And I've tried different pouches and I've tried stacking things on top of each other, and sometimes it works, but it's very inconsistent. So I don't know what ILE could do to kind of solve this. Maybe adding a frame sheet would help, but I think this would be a deal breaker for a lot of people. So I believe they do have a return policy, so I would try that out, see how it feels if you pack up your stuff, all the way. And if it does kind of stick out the back, and if you think that's going to annoy you, I would probably recommend returning it, just because that, in the long run, for a bag this expensive, that is going to be something that really disappoints you in the long run, I think, at least. I touched on it a little bit earlier, but I think the water resistance of the admin compartment is questionable, just because it feels like water can get in through the side here. Now, it would be really difficult for it to get in through the side, but if you do have, like, let's say, like a tablet or a laptop in there, even just a little bit of water can really ruin your day. So I would like to see, like, I don't know, just something to kind of secure that a little bit more, because water can get in through there, especially on this side when I have like my mouse case in here. It does bulge out a little bit, and it does cause it to kind of like, I don't know, it feels like it's not super secure there. So I would like to see a little bit of more water resistance for the admin compartment because like I said, it's pretty good, but even if just a little bit of water gets in there like over time, that could really mess up your electronics or anything that you have in there. So that's why for my laptop, I use I'll show you. That's why for my laptop, for my personal laptop at least, I use this right here because that way it's like completely water sealed, or not water sealed, but you know what I mean, like very water resistant. And then lastly, this is a little bit more of a nitpick, but I do wish that the carry handle was a little bit more substantial. So, I mean, this just feels like an afterthought, to be honest. And it doesn't really need to be anything too crazy, but it just feels very flimsy, very like, I don't know, this is definitely like the least thought out part of this bag. So I do think that this is probably an area that they can improve because it's literally just, you know, like a sewn in piece of webbing and it's pretty thin. Not super comfortable, but it gets the job done. But I just think that they could do better there. So who would I recommend this bag to? So roll tops are not for everyone. They do take a little bit more time to get into. Now the nice thing is that like it allows you to expand or compact the bag as much as you need, but it does take a little bit more time to get into. I feel like this bag is going to be great for people who do need that like variable amount of space. So like, let's say you are going to be wearing a jacket in the morning, but then in the evening it gets cold and you need to put your jacket back in here. That's a possible use case. Let's say you need to put groceries in here or something like that. That's another use case because the bag does have a lot of adjustment points where you can kind of expand or contract. Expand or, I don't know, compress. That's the word that I'm thinking of. Sorry. Another use case for this bag and another reason I would recommend it is for the water resistance of the main compartment and this weather resistant sleeve right here. So if you have a use case for this weather resistant sleeve, and if you're going to be storing a lot of important things in the roll top, then those two parts are like the most water resistant parts of the bag. And so I think those would be great for you as well. I feel like this bag would really excel for people who carry a lot of like medium to large flat objects. So think like textbooks or notebooks. Think of like a tablet or a laptop, things like that. I feel like this is best suited for that. Again, mainly because of the reason for the back panel kind of jutting out and poking your back. Another person that this would be great for is if you carry a lot of soft compressible items. So I think that this might be a good like short travel bag. So let's say you need to take a like a 48-hour weekend trip back to your parents' house, or let's say you need to take a short weekend trip over to a friend's house, or something like that. I think that this would be great because you could carry a lot of clothes in here and packing cubes and stuff like that, and you can really compress it, cinch it down, and then you have a little bit of expandability with the roll top. And then also, if you organize your bag with pouches, this would also be good for you because, again, the roll top is just a large cavity. So if you don't have anything to organize your things, with that, then everything's just going to sink to the bottom and it's going to be hard to access. So if you do use a lot of pouches to organize, this would also be good for you. But again, just keep in mind the fact that it kind of just does poke your back. So in conclusion, the Inside Line Equipment Default Bag is a bag made by people who nerd out about this stuff. You can easily tell. But there are a few shortcomings, or at least areas that can be improved, such as the items that are poking out your back, and the lack of side access to the main compartment. I feel like those are areas that could really elevate this bag to the next level. Now, that isn't to say that this isn't a really well-designed and well-crafted bag, however. I just think that it ended up being a little bit more niche than I expected. With that being said, though, I think that this will still have a place in my carry rotation, and I'm super excited to use it for the years to come. So if you're still watching and still interested, let's go ahead and talk about the rebrand, right? So this channel, formerly Maro Ghost, it used to be called that. And this was a channel that I made when I was 18 years old, 17 years old, 17, 18. And I am now 22. So it's been a while. And the name Maro Ghost came from a poem that I wrote. And I thought it sounded cool, maybe a little bit edgy. And it meant something to me, but I just don't think it means a lot to other people. And so I thought, how can we create a name that is more in alignment with what this channel is about? The motto for this channel has always been to elevate your everyday. And I want to find and curate things for you guys to help make those more mundane moments a little bit more special, right? And so that's where the name Unbound Carry came from. I want to help you unbind your carry from the mundane, and hopefully help you make those everyday mundane moments a little bit more special, a little bit more exciting. So that's the whole thing about the rebrand. Everything should pretty much stay the same. You might just see some different branding and stuff like that, but the style of the videos is different, except for the fact that I moved out. If you haven't seen that other video, I'll link it down in the description. That was a fun video to make. But yeah, guys, I am super excited for the future of this channel. And thank you so much for watching. Again, if you enjoyed this video or if you found it helpful, I would appreciate it if you gave it a like. And if you really loved it, then maybe consider subscribing. If you want to see more of me, you can also follow me at Unbound Carry on Instagram, not Marghost anymore. And that's all I've got for you guys. I'll talk at you later.